Hey guys, Backwaters and Backroads here. Yeah, so obviously in this video we're not going to be fishing or boating, but I do have something else that I want to share with you. So how about if I just turn the phone around and we just get on with it?
Get on with it. Yes, get on with it.
Oh, I am enjoying this scene.
Get on with it.
Okay guys, so we're over here at the marine park, and I brought both the trailers over here. You wouldn't believe I've been running around like a chicken with his head cut off, but I found a little bit of time to do this little comparison review, and I'm just going to turn the phone around and we're going to walk around together. I really haven't done this myself before. I've been filming this. I honestly don't know all the differences between the U-Haul Burro and the what I'd call like the standard Burro, which is right next to it there. So let's just walk around together, take a few minutes, and we'll just kind of explore this together and see if we can figure out what makes these two campers different. Okay guys, so let's just do the walk around the outside first. So you guys have seen the U-Haul from the other video. Right off the bat, I'm noticing they have different tail lights. So here's the tail lights on the U-Haul, and I'm going to come over here to what I just call like the standard Burro, and they have these round ones, right? Now, before we get too far into this, let's keep this in mind. This is a 1980 Burro, and this is a 1985 Burro U-Haul. So some of the differences we're going to find might be because of the 5-year difference. Maybe they've changed the molds and stuff like that, but you know, let's continue. So I've done just a little bit of research online on some of the forums, you know, to asking these questions as well. The U-Hauls came with this really beefy back bumper, which I imagine they put on there, you know, because you got to remember, I mean, the intention of this model was to rent it out, and there might be people that have never towed a trailer, right? So they're going to be backing it into posts and things like that. So that bumper probably did serve some kind of bigger purpose to keep people from, you know, destroying these things too bad, right? Whereas now this Burro here, someone made this box, which actually, I mean, it's seen better days. I kind of did a little pressure washing on it. It could be used as a template to make a better one, or maybe just throw some paint on it and get another year or two out of it. But and it's bolted on there. It can come off really easy. But it just has, you can see the bumper on the back of this conventional one. It's just, you know, less heavy duty, or light duty, I should say. Okay, so another thing I'm noticing is the standard Burro here has these kind of like, I don't know what you call these, torpedo lights, you know, these little marker lights, which are kind of cute. I don't know how functional they are. I mean, I guess they're kind of functional, but they're also kind of got a style to them. Where when you come over here to the U-Haul, it just has it doesn't have the actual mold to even receive them. This has these little marker lights that actually say U-Haul on them, which I'm just noticing for the first time. So that's another observation I'm making. Okay, so here's the back window. Let's see, did they change much in the back window? Looks like this has 3 panes with 2 pillars on the standard, and then I come over here and this one does slide, and it doesn't have the pillars. I wonder if this one slides. I don't know, to tell you the truth. I don't think it does. I think this one's fixed. So that's another difference. Let's go around to this side. We're looking at the side windows here. This is the standard Burro. And it looks like they probably just used the same windows. I know they both slide on this one. Okay. The U-Haul has, hopefully the lighting's working for you guys here. You probably remember this from the first video. I'm going to link the first video, you know, in the description below, of course, so if you want to reference it. But this has water receptor, electric receptor, what does that say? City water and potable water, I should say. Whereas This one over here, let's go over to this side, has a kind of a different setup. So it has, what does this say, sink drain, and then it has the hookup for the power, which I would have to look inside to see if the cable's in there, but it would come out of this hole here. Let's go around to the front. Okay, so I'm going to get to the frame. That's going to be a big difference, but I'm waiting for that. I'm going to show you everything I can think of before that. So the front window cover, this is definitely more light duty. I've already tried this out. You can just take my word for it. It kind of folds up and becomes like a little awning. And you can tell, you know, it's really, you know, it's just the light material. Whereas they decided when they built the U-Haul, this is much more stout, and it's got some different kind of locking mechanisms on it to keep it in place. I guess that was just another thing they thought, you know, let's beef it up a little bit for people that are renting and, you know, abuse, you know, just built for abuse, I guess, you know, potential abuse, I should say. Okay, I guess before we go in the interiors, let's go ahead and address the frame difference. So that's a huge aspect of this, and I did find that out when I went onto some of these forums to find out what the difference was as well when I first found this U-Haul camper. This, let me show you this, see if I can get a good view of it. These U-Hauls have like these slider bars all the way that go all the way around the outside perimeter of the camper. I don't know, you know, I don't know exactly what they're for, to tell you the truth. Maybe protect the bottom of the camper. Let's kind of look under here. You know, just much more stout, a lot more frame under the U-Haul version than what I'm going to show you in a minute. And then the tongue, you know, has this kind of unique tongue that comes up from the frame and then tilts up and comes up to the tongue, right? And then they have these kind of industrial propane tank holders. Okay, so probably saying too much. I'm sorry, guys. You wouldn't believe how crazy the past couple days has been, but I really want to get this video out to you guys, so please bear with me. So this is the frame on the conventional Burro. What I'm calling the standard Burro is it's you can see it doesn't have any sliders on the side here. But I'm just calling them sliders. There's probably another name for them, but you know, this outside perimeter, and it's kind of square tubing. You know, just a lot less beefy. I mean, it doesn't mean it's bad. I'm sure it's still fine. I mean, it's obviously, this camper's 40 years old and it's still in really good shape, especially compared to stick built ones with metal sheathing, which pretty much fall apart way before this one ever would. And it makes it lighter. I can tell you that between the two campers, I'm just going to take a guess here. This is just a guess. It's probably can be confirmed on the forums, because there is a huge fan base for these campers. So people have this stuff dialed in, and I just really haven't had time to go into it. But I'm going to take a wild guess that this one weighs about, this is the standard Burro, and it probably weighs something around 1,000 to 1,200 pounds. This is my guess, okay? And I'm going to guess that with the U-Haul version with the beefed up frame and some of the other little accessories, I'm gonna guess it's like another 300, 400, 500 pounds more. Still light, but definitely, you know, when I move it around by hand on the tongue jack, or when I'm towing it, I can tell the difference. Okay guys, so now that we kind of walked around the outside of these campers and seen some of the differences between the two, I'm gonna turn the phone around and we're gonna look at the insides and see if we can figure out some of the differences on the interiors. Okay guys, so I'm going to start with the doors. I noticed that they used a different door mechanism. On the U-Haul version, it kind of feels a little more beefy, substantial. sometimes on these fiberglass campers, they, you know, one of the problem points they have over the course of, you know, 20, 30, 40 years is the hinges and the doors, the way they close. I've known several people that have had fiberglass campers, and they just, you know, it's just anything wearable. It'll happen in a house or a car too, you know, but you can see that, you know, it has these, on the U-Haul version, it has this, you know, pretty beefy, you know, I'm sure is a name. Again, it's eluding me. Everything on here says U-Haul too, which is kind of funny. It's almost like U-Haul, you know, outfitted them with all the little accessories. You know, they kind of just got the basic Burro shell. Again, someone I'm sure has figured all this out. All this stuff's going to be found. I'm going to do some research before I post this video, and very likely there's going to be some links below that'll explain a lot of this that I'm just not understanding at the moment. So, yeah, so there, you know, that's the door mechanism on the U-Haul version. Let's take a look at what the standard one has. You can see it's different, you know, smaller. Feels kind of less. Again, you know, it's just, this one's 5 years older than the U-Haul, but it has a different door latch, and you can see it doesn't have. I mean, this is the extent of the door mechanism, right? So they did take, you know, they put some consideration into the rentable version of this, I guess would be safe to say. So, okay, just while we're here, let's go ahead and go inside. So this is the standard one. Looks like they didn't quite get out of the 1970s when they picked the upholstery. I kind of like it though. And, oh yeah, very 1980, 1979. I always remember, like, I was 8 years old when this thing was sold, you know, just kind of like, I don't know, perspective. You know, take note of this, because we're going to go over to the U-Haul one in a second here, but let's open it up here. What do we got? Looks like they did a little decorating there. I don't know. I'd redo that. I would redo it. I'll redo it if I keep this one. And someone pulled out the original ice box. This is just a small plug-in apartment. Oh, look! Someone left a beer. Imagine that. This episode is brought to you by Keweenaw Brewing Company. Red Jacket. We continue. Here's the sink, faucet, and the bed that turns into a little dinette. So that would be a bench. That would be a bench. And then these move and they kind of go up on the wall there. And then this comes up and is like a little table. So, dinette. And a little cupboard. Yeah. Not much to see, of course. Now let's go over to the U-Haul. Now, I know I did a video of it before, but, you know, just so we have the side-by-side comparison. Let's pop into this one. Now, this one has that'd be a fire extinguisher bay. This would be, what does it say? Connect service plug to 120 volt AC supplied, activate converter charger, and ensure a fully charged battery. Okay, so it has some kind of battery inverter. There's the bench seat. Very similar. Now, I haven't cleaned this thing up or anything, just so you guys know. I did sleep in it one night on the beach. That's why it's got some bedding in there, but yeah. And it looks like they just went to plastic cupboard covers. You know, it's a U-Haul on them. They just got. It looks like they just went a little more industrial with some of the wearables. Is my thoughts on this. Plus, it has a heater, which I have not tried yet. It's complete. I assume it works. It's got a little thermostat. And this one This one has an air conditioner in it, which if I'm keeping this one, if this one ends up kind of sticking around my life, I'm actually pulling this whole unit out and I'm just going to plug the hole. I never use air conditioning. It just looks ugly to me. It's just more weight. So that would come off. But if this one sells, here's the heater exit port. If this one sells, and you know, that might work, I don't know. And I do have a plastic cover for it. It's going to have to be like modified a little bit to make it fit properly, but it'll come with it. So, okay, guys. You know, not much to see, right? I mean, they're just little campers. I'm going to turn the phone around here, and we'll talk a little more. Okay, so I don't need two campers, obviously, of the same camper especially. And my whole life's just one big camping trip, right? But I am starting to notice that what I prefer is when I go on trips, especially if I'm going like with a camper or something, I'm not on my scooter or on a boat or something, right? Is what works better for me is to put some kind of slide-in truck camper on the back of my truck. And the reason why is because I like to tow a boat, and especially like some of the trips I have, you know, planned in my head for the immediate future are going to be, you know, possibly towing the C-Dory, which you guys really haven't seen yet. I'm going to show you in the next video after this. All in good time here. Or the Bayliner, or, you know, I guess even the Adventure Craft. But you know, yeah, so I like to tow a boat is basically, and you obviously you can't tow a boat when you're towing a camper. So I think I'm going to sell at least one of these. If my thoughts initially are, whichever one doesn't sell, I'll just keep it on my beach property, and then when I have guests up, including maybe some of the folks that watch this channel, there's always an open invitation. They can stay in the camper. And there might be times where it might make sense to drag this up to the mouth of the Huron or something like that, some local trips, or who knows, maybe I'll graduate back into maybe not towing a boat or something. But keeping one around would be great, because there is coming a time, you know, pretty quickly where these kind of campers are going to be really hard to find for a decent price. And, you know, so that's another thing for people to understand. In fact, I'm going to stop the phone for a second and collect my thoughts here, and then I'll go into that subject. Okay, guys, so a lot of times when people just initially discover these little fiberglass campers and decide that that's what they want, they're surprised at how much they cost.
Most exciting Clint Eastwood picture ever made.